All right, what's good? It's somebody the ruler, and I'm back. Make sure y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And I'm still been going through this article that was published about Arab being convicted on those crimes. Now, if you don't know, Arab is basically facing 15 years at the minimum for his participation, or for him actually, as the government is putting it, him running a drug ring in North Philly. Now, him and three other people were convicted on these crimes. So let's kind of go over some of the stuff that's being said in this particular article, because it get kind of crazy, and I'm gonna let y'all. We're gonna do this together. All right, it says that West 37. Let me see. He said next to his, and I'm gonna skim through it a little bit. He said next to his lawyer as the jury announced its verdicts on Tuesday on counts including conspiracy and distribution of crack cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. It says the U.S. Marshals handcuffed him immediately and led him back to the prison. He smiled, blew a kiss to his supporters and fans in the court. Now, this is where it gets interesting. He faces a mandatory minimum prison sentence of 15 years. Now, basically, that means by law, he shouldn't get anything less than the 15 years. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't plan on cooperating anytime soon. So, more than likely, he's at least getting that. Now, it goes on to say that the verdict came 2 weeks or after a 2-week trial that basically put AR's music under a microscope and raised questions about how much a genre defined his hyper-masculine boasting of street home toughness can be taken at his word. They said Arab's case, the prosecutor argued his lyrics and social media persona were more than just marketing. They amounted to a confession to crimes. Now, let me stop right there real quick, because it is some pretty interesting things that we've seen and like that he posted on social media. This being one of them that he posted last February, February 2018.
Myself, check this out. There's a $500,000 on the table, man. This is a $500,000 on the table. I just feel like y'all got too excited when Birdman paid me my 200 grand. Like, that's some real money. I've been had that money. I felt like y'all believed I was broke before I got that 200. This is a $500,000. Huh? This is type money I bet. OBH Records, I got my own company. Huh? This is OBH Records. I got my own company. I'm independent for real. I'm independent. I signed myself. I don't have no boss. I've never had a boss in my life. King Ad, OBH, this is $500,000, man. Huh? You count it. Half a ticket, man. OBH Records, man. Y'all want to sign OBH Records, man? Jump in my DM. I sign y'all tonight.
All right, so that's part of what was being shown and what's being talked about in this particular article, as well as what was being shown and talked about in court. It also says jurors were shown several West videos and a dozen of Instagram posts as FBI agents pointed to direct links to crimes that he or members of OBH basically had committed. The evidence was basically a trove of more traditional evidence investigators amassed over 2 years, including wire recordings, pole cameras from videos, which they had a camera on a pole by the place I mentioned earlier, which was called the Mansion, cell phone location data, which they had plenty of people from the cell phone companies to come testify, and text messages pulled from all of the defendants' phones. Here's one of the Instagram pictures that federal agents used. It says federal prosecutors alleged that this Instagram post shown to jurors in Arab's trial shows the co-defendant Jamal Blading on a trip to California to buy bricks from their supplier. The caption reads, "I'll make it snow in LA." Y'all it's wild, right? It's more. It also says prosecutors interpreted his lyrics in one video to be an admission that West ordered the 2017 murder of drug world rival, and I talked about this individual earlier, Robert Johnson, who was shot multiple times on the 400 block of Beaner Street in Weston Omni. I can't read that. A member of West's entourage, Dantes Taz Stewart, has been charged with the slaying. And this is why I was talking about the lyrics earlier, where he said, I have the whole city scared. Stand near home. I'll call Taz and tell him to bring that end's head to me. Now, it goes on to say investigators discovered the lyrics from that track written 4 days after Johnson's death in a note in West's phone. West being AR-AB. Now, saying that he maintained that it was a coincidence, but prosecutors balked at that. Now, prosecutors said either he's the most unluckiest musician that ever existed, or he ordered the hit. Now, in another video released by FBI agents, they raided an OBH stash house on One Water Street Apartments in Old City last year. Basically, AR-AB complained that the feds took 10 of them, a reference to 10 kilos of cocaine that was seized from the scene. And he has more lyrics, and I read those earlier, where he said, $250,000 lost, got a broke heart. And they snatched my dog, that's the worst part. One rat destroy everything you work for. I pray to God that he just don't tell them who he worked for. It went on to say throughout the trial that AR-AB and his co-defendants maintained that OBH was not a drug trafficking front, but a legitimate record label that had drawn the interest from music industry insiders alike. And it was said that they pushed the music pushed to keep the music videos out of court, accusing prosecutors of using the profanity, and all the stuff that they talk about in the music, trying to use that against them to paint a violent picture of them. It says these aren't love songs, according to Evan Hughes, an attorney for AR-AB's co-defendant. It says it's street music. Now, the U.S. District Judge basically said he was sensitive to the dangers inflicted in searching for literal truth in artistic expression, but he ultimately concluded that AR-AB's lyrics were relevant to his crimes. Now, it goes on to say, simply put, he wrote, individuals cannot immunize themselves from criminal liability by expressing their intent in a rap video. AR-AB had made little effort to hide the truth behind his lyrics as his career took off from his battle rapping days in the early 2000s to his more recent beats with rappers like his Philadelphia contemporary Meek Mill. It goes on to talk about a 2015 interview that AR-AB did where he spoke plainly about growing up on a crack block in North Philly and inheriting his drug dealing territory from a friend who got out of the trade. Now, this one right here is something that a lot of people have talked about. And there's a direct link to that video, but you can go look that video up online. A lot of people pointed to the Vlad TV incident or the Vlad TV interview, which, some of that stuff at the same time was helpful. But there's so much. That's just one part of that. Now, you can go to Don Diva and check out that 2015 interview if it's still up over there on the site. Now, he would say in that interview, you got people who know how to rap good but don't live that life. And you got people that live that life but don't know how to rap good. He said, I live that life and I rap good. Said a little too much in the interview. Dozens of witnesses at trial described that AR-AB's sizable narcotics trafficking operation based in the same neighborhood of North Philly where AR-AB grew up, it drew its supply of crack cocaine, heroin, and meth from California and stored it in upscale Center City apartments that he believed would be less likely to draw law enforcement. And it was just basically going to one of them was Edgewater Apartments at 2323 Ray Street, belonging to Johnson, before West allegedly had him killed. It also says, it just talks about how fans reacted to this situation, and it just kind of goes on and talk about the future OBH and his orders now hangs in doubt. And again, it talks about Dark Low, who was not indicted with the others, but was arrested during the trial for allegedly intimidating a witness. And a lot of people said that the witness just didn't want Dark Low to be there. He didn't want Dark Low to see him testify. Coward. It also says that ARAB's co-defendants all had links to OBH. And it just names who they are. It includes Blanding, Molino, No Breaks Bras, and 5 other men pleaded guilty before this happened, and some of them ended up cooperating as well. And at least 2 other members of his crew, Stewart and Parker, are facing state prison sentences for murders associated with OBH. In closing, it said Tuesday why Arab himself had not been charged with the murder, despite the accusations at the trial. The prosecutors said it was for their policy not to discuss their charging decisions. It's a lot, man. I mean, it's kind of like another one of those, they can make a movie out of this, man. I'm going to just be honest, man. These boys lightweight helped. Because I'm not saying they wouldn't have been able to get them without all of the social media stuff. But the social media stuff, the interviews, the rap music, and it just all worked against them, man. Get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. If I get any more updates or anything, I'll be sure to post new content. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you think, though. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Peace.